Welcome back. I am your host, Susanna May O'Hagan, and today we're going to be talking about Lilo and Stitch 2. Stitch Has a Glitch is a 2005 American direct-to-video animated science fiction film drama. After joining the Palakai family and before his fellow experiment becomes scattered across Kauai, Hawaii, Stitch awakens from a nightmare about reverting to his former programming and attacking Earth, including assaulting Lilo. After consoling Stitch by reminding him that she knows he would never do that, Lilo tests his goodness level by having him do a few good deeds. They then used a hovercraft to get to her hula class. At class, Lilo's teacher Moses announces that the class will be performing at the local May Day festival, with each student being required to create an original dance. Lilo is inspired when Moses tells her about and hands her a photo of her mother at her age winning the festival competition. After class, Myrtle Edmonds spites Lilo about following in her mother's footsteps, leading her to physically retaliating. As a result of this, Moses thinks that Lilo is not ready for the competition, but she refutes that claims and vows to better herself. While preparing for the competition, Lilo and Stitch have a hard time coming up with ideas. One night, the latter unexpectedly experiences some seizures, which causes him to act abnormally. It is soon revealed that following Stitch's creation, Jumba failed to fully charge his molecule structure due to the process being botched during his arrest. At first, his defect causes Stitch to revert to his former programming against his will, but he will ultimately die from it if Jumba cannot the changing process before Stitch's life energy depletes. The defect causes friction between Lilo and Stitch, threatening to ruin the former chances for success at the hula competition. The duo tries to be inspired for their hula, but Stitch condition continuously persists. Since Lilo is so concerned about winning the competition, she fails to notice said condition. She presumes that Stitch's new behavior is deliberate and begins to neglect him, much to his charge and eventually distress. Elsewhere, Nani's on and off boyfriend Dave believes she is losing interest in him, so Blakely tries to revitalize the relationship. Eventually, Lilo and Stitch diverse a hula based on the legend of Hiiaka, but Lilo gets increasingly frustrated at Stitch as his condition ruins their practice session, all while Jumba is experiencing complications while creating a charging machine due to lacking the proper technology to do so and must resort to using more household objects. On the day of competition, Stitch attempts to wish Lilo luck, but when he has another seizure, a confused Lilo becomes concerned about his well-being. Whereupon he eventually assaults her, knowing that he would never do that intentionally. Lilo finally becomes aware of Stitch's condition and tries to ask, but the latter, generally horrified and ashamed of what he did, what he had done, decides to run away, not believing himself to be lethal. Not believing himself to be lethal. Lilo ultimately forfeits the competition mid-performance and runs off to help Stitch, during which Nani and David learn about the crisis from Jumba and Pleakley. As Stitch attempts to leave Earth in Jumba's spaceship, Lilo and the rest of the family desperately try to have him reconsider so his life can be saved. While taking off as he declines, Stitch has one last seizure, which causes him to lose control and crash the ship in the mountain. Lilo flies the hovercraft to the crash site and hurriedly attempts to get Stitch into the now completed charging machine, but it's too late as Stitch apologizes to Lilo before seemingly dying. A remorseful Lilo then apologizes herself for her mistreatment towards him and prioritizes her needs over his own before declaring that she will always love him. After a brief period of grieving, Stitch miraculously returns to life, to everyone's relief. Although Pleakley is confused by the miracle, Jumba Ascertains that Lilo's love for Stitch is what saved his life. That night, the family and Dave perform Lilo's hula dance as Nani informs her sister that their mother would be proud. A star in the sky twinkles to justify the claim. Let's see what Rotten Tomatoes has to say. Rotten Tomatoes. Tomato meter, 42. Popcorn meter, 56. Lilo gets completed for little... Life gets complicated for little Lilo. After Stitch, the experiment pet created by bubbling alien scientist Dr. Jumba Jaboka begins to malfunction. As Stitch's condition worsens, Lilo struggles to choreograph an original hula dance for an upcoming competition at her school. When she realizes something is terribly wrong, Lilo and Jumba scramble to build an advanced device capable of saving Stitch from certain death. Okay, so I find this, here's my review. It's cute, it's a little different. Is it my favorite movie? Nah, but I like the first one. But this one has like some fun little facts about her mom and, the conflict. It's a cute movie. The animation's good. I always loved that Nani looked like a human being. By that I mean like she had curves. She looked like a person. She wasn't a thin thing. And I always loved like how just because Lilo is different, like I do like it. And for a sequel, it's not that bad. So, Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch is PG, 1 hour and 8 minutes. Kids and family comedy animation. Here are some reviews. One of the best Disney sequels. It is one of the better ones. Stitch is an animal or Stitch a machine. In this universe, Stitch needs a full charge or will die. Do not try any of this at home with your pets. Not much happened, and it happens to characters who don't feel quite right, and there's no reason to care about any of this except those reasons that you bring with you. More of the same, sweet and fun for kids. Cute enough. The story is somewhat crumbly, but the real charm of Lilo and Stitch are the characters and their interactions. The first dude is in the would-be trilogy. Let's see what the audience has to say. I'm not reading all of them. There's too many. The film is a good sequel. It's honestly hated, but I am not sure why. It's not the best and it's not the worst. Lilo and Stitch will always be good. See, that was my thing. It's not my favorite sequel, but it's not the worst sequel I've seen. Should have been longer and a bit more complex. This true follow-up achieves the same amount of greatness all over its increased hearting. So, I don't know how old you are when you saw this, but when this was first, so originally movies were not 2 hours long, and I think movies 2 hours long are too long. I actually like my hour and like a minute movie. They're so much easier to like get through. So I don't actually agree with it should have been longer. I think it's the right amount of long. An hour movie was normal back then, and I prefer it. A 2 hour movie, you're like, I have to pee, I have to, like, this is too long. And then you're like, don't really want to watch this movie again, it's so long. Since I've seen the OG Lilo and Stitch and now the live action remake, I figured I might as well check out the other films in the Stitch franchise. So I watched Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch, the story follows Stitch, who has adjustment to his new home on planet Earth and his adoption family. Um, Too boring. The sequel destroyed everything the classic did. This one was the best sequel that Disney released in the 2000s. Honestly, one of the best and only